Good day, grade 12 learners. My name is Mithala Chia. Welcome to today's mathematical literacy lesson. Remember, this lesson is brought to you by Gauteng Department of Education in collaboration with Saibon. Boys and girls, last week you were busy with data handling. My colleague Nikiwe Zulu started with data handling as it is our second topic, the big topic for paper 1. Remember, paper 1 is all about finance and data handling. So last week you started with the part of data handling, the first part, which is developing questions, collecting data, and collecting data. After you have collected the data, you classified it. So now for today's lesson, we will be focusing on summarizing the data. Boys and girls, this is the easiest topic. By the end of this lesson, this is what you should be able to do. Summarize the collected data from using measures of central tendency and measure of spread. Deal with box and whisker plots and growth charts. Analyze graphs, make deductions about the trend in the data. Interpret the growth charts and box and whisker plots. This is not new altogether, boys and girls. When you started in grade 5, grade 6, 7, up until grade 10, you have been doing data handling. You are doing the pictograms, you are collecting information, whereby your teacher was asking you, go and collect the information. After you have collected that information, what you do, you classify and organize that data. And remember, we said when we classify the data, we use a frequency table. Now we say, okay, fine, this data that you have collected, we tick it using the frequency table. We complete the frequency table with the tally tables, and then from there, what we do with it now, we summarize it using the two spreads. Now, number one, we are using the measure of spread, the measure of central tendency, and the measure of spread. What are we referring to when it comes to the measure of central tendency? And you know it, you have been enjoying it even in grade 10 and grade 11. I know most of my learners, when they saw the measure of central tendency, they were so excited. They will say, "Hi, ma'am, this question paper was the easiest paper." Now let us quickly have a recap of the measure of central tendency. Remember, always we'll go back to what? To the definition, so that you remember what is this, what this terminology stands for. And again, boys and girls, before I continue, remember that data handling, it is 45% of your exam in the final. So it means the marks, you must collect them from that part. The 55%, it falls under what? Under financial, under finance. And then the rest, 45, it will be for what? It will be for data handling, and then 5% goes towards probability. Now for us, for today, this is where you'll focus at. The measure of central tendency. What are we referring to? We say the measure of central tendency is values that summarizes a set of data. And then after summarizing, what do? We calculate, or we determine the mode, the median, and the mean. Those three, the mode, the median, and the mean, we call them the central tendency, the measure of central tendency. And then when it comes to the second one, the measure of spread. The measure of spread, we say it's numbers that tell how far apart data values in the data set lie apart, meaning how far apart from the minimum to the maximum, how far apart. Even the percentiles, as you can see here, we'll be doing the range. And then the range, we all know the range. It is the maximum number, subtract the minimum number. And then we'll also be doing what? The quartiles and the percentiles. Boys and girls, I know this is for the first time you are hearing about the quartiles and the percentiles, because in grade 10 and 11, you only did the measure of central tendency, where you are focusing on the mean, the mode, the median, and then also the range. under the measure of spread. But when it comes to the quartiles and the percentiles, you did not do them in grade 11 or grade 10. So it will be for the first time you are seeing them. And then also the outliers. When you talk about the outliers, remember I said to you, the measure of spread, it's a numbers that tells how far apart data values are. So now the outliers, remember it can be the smallest, our minimum is the smallest value on the data set, and also the maximum value on the data set. So now if those two values are far apart, then we say those values are outliers as compared to the values in the middle. Now we say the outliers is data values that is either too big or too small compared to other values in the set of data. Now let's make an example. At the school, people who are working at the gate, our scholar patrollers or our groundsmen, they don't earn the same salary as the principal. So meaning if I am to say this school is paying its employers same amount, its employees same amount, no, I'll be wrong, because now the salary that the groundsman or our scholar patroller is getting versus the salary of the principal is two complete different values. So the other one will be right at the bottom. Maybe they're earning about 3,500, for example, and then the principal is earning about 65,000. So can I really say these people are getting almost the same salary? There is no much difference in between. No, I'll be wrong, because now the 65,000, it will be an outlier, as it will be far apart from these other values, because in between, remember, it is the gateman or a scholar patrol, our patrollers, and then we have our cleaners, we have our PL1, which is our educators, we have our departmental heads, and then we have the deputy principals, and now the principal. Can you see the hierarchy from the gate? We have that one, and then we come, maybe those ones they're earning about 3.5, and then we have our cleaners, and then from the cleaners, those ladies and gentlemen who are assisting us. I don't want to call them the cleaners, because they're the ones who are ensuring that our schools are very clean. So now, Mem Togo, they're there to assist us. So now they're earning certain amount of money. And then the educators, the PL1 educators, they're earning a certain amount of money. And then you compare them with their departmental heads. From the departmental heads, it's the HOD, the deputy principal. From the deputy principal is the principal. And then from the principal, it will be who? It will be the director at the district office. That's how the hierarchy goes. And the salaries are quite different. Now, like I said, don't forget the outliers. Those are the data values that are either too big or too small compared to other values in the data set. And then let's move on to quartiles. When we talk about the quartiles, the values that divide a list of ordered numbers into 4 equal parts. How many quarters do we have in a year? How many times do we go for school holidays? We know the first 3 months. After 3 months, now on the 20th of March, we'll be closing. That is our first quarter. And then again in June, July, we close again. So every 3 months, there are 4 quarters in a year. So it means we take break 4 times a year. So when you talk about quarters, we divide the data set into 4 equal parts in an ordered number. And then when it comes to the percentiles, boys and girls, the word percentile means a data value that is positioned, that determines the percentage below or percentage above. So you will see when we do these percentiles, boys and girls, we do them with the box and whiskers, whereby it says now these values, are they above the percentile or the percentage, or below the percentage? And it's so nice. when you are to interpret the box and whisker, you'll see how you can collect the easy marks in the exam. Because with this, I am telling you, you must get 100% pass in paper 1 for mathematical literacy. Let's move on, boys and girls. I hope you still remember the quartiles and the percentiles, because these are the new concept that you are going to learn, or that you have already done in class with your educator. You did not do them in grade 10, you did not do them in grade 11. It's for the first time you are seeing them. Now let's quickly again do a revision when it comes to the measure of central tendency. We said we have the mean, the median, and the mode. Now, when we look at the mean, what is the mean? The mean is the sum of listed numerical values divided by the number they are. So if in a class you are 30 and then your teacher takes your shoe size, she asks you, Mpho, what is your shoe size? Mpho will say size 3, and then Pule size 5, Peter size 7, and then Nombulelo size 10. Different shoe sizes. She collects that data set, and then after collecting, let me just quickly do an example here, but we are still going to do it in detail so that you understand when I say the sum of the listed values, the listed numerical values divided by the number they are. So let's quickly take, for example, we have size 2 in a class, and then we have size 3, size 4, size 6, size 7, size 8, and then we have size 12. These are different sizes. Now, when you look at them, how many are they? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, when we say the sum, now we say the mean is the sum. The mean is equals to the sum. We add these values: 2 plus 3 plus 4 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 12. And then we divided them by the number as it says how many they are now. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We divide it by 7. That's how we determine the mean. And remember, again, we said the mean, it is affected by what? By the outlier. Those two numbers, it's either the number is too small as compared to the rest of the data set, or too big as compared to the rest of the data set. So it is affected by the outlier. And then it may be the same as one of the values listed. It may be the same as one of the listed values. So after we have calculated the mean, you'll find that one of the values in the data set is the same as the mean. So now we say the mean, sometimes it might be the same as one of the listed values. It will always be halfway of the listed values, or of the list of values. It will always be halfway of the list values. What do they mean? When we remember what I said to you, from the scholar patrol at the gate to the principal, we are comparing their salaries now. They are different salaries. Now, when we look at those salaries, we look at the outlier. The principal salary will be an outlier because it will be way high as compared to the rest of the salaries of the staff members. And then now again, when maybe in class you are writing mathematical literacy control test, or maybe your teacher gave you a baseline assessment, and now she asked, how much did you get? You give her your results. Now one will say maybe it was out of 30. One will say, okay ma'am, I got 25 or 26, and then the other one says I got 13. The other one says, you all give the numbers, and then when we add those numbers, we say we are calculating what now? The mean, because we are going to add those values, and then after adding them, we divide them by the total number of you guys in a class. How many learners wrote this baseline assessment in a class? And then we get it. That means sometimes we say it is an average. We call it an average to see if these learners are passing almost the same, or there are those who are failing, extremely failing, or maybe you are the high performers in that class. So we look at that mean. And then the median, boys and girls. I like this one, the median. The median, we say it is the middle most value of that arranged list of numerical values. The median, it is the middle most value of that arranged list of numerical values. So it means when we are to determine the median of the data set, we first have to arrange our data in ascending order, meaning from the smallest to the biggest, or in a descending order. If they say arrange your data set in a descending order, that means you have to start with what? With the biggest number and then going down to the smallest number. If they say ascending order, meaning ascending, we are going up, and then descending, we are going down. Don't forget that one. And then if there are two values in the middle, you add them together and divide them by 2. You know what I like to do? Let me quickly demonstrate to you. In it, I've got 10 fingers. So it's 5 on the left, 5 on the right. So if I combine the two fingers, the two hands, they will give me 10 fingers. When I count, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I continue 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Can you see I've got 10? Now, if I am asked to share this data set into 2 equal parts, I'm looking forward now for the median. So the median, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be my middle one. And then from this side, I will start from the pinky finger. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it means these 2 thumbs, they are the 2 middle values. So now these 2 middle values, I add them together and then divide them by 2. So if I divide them by 2, then I'll have my 5 on the left and my 5 on the right. That is what we mean when we say that if there are 2 values in the middle, you add them together. After adding them together, you divide them by 2. And then it is influenced by the position of items, but not their values. So the median, it doesn't mean that if in a data set I've got 20, I'll say that maybe there are 50 in a data set, then I'll say 20 is the middle. No, it is only influenced by the position of an item, but not their value. So that is why when I counted, I said from the pinky finger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then also from on the right hand side, from the pinky finger, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So meaning my 2 thumbs here, they become my middle numbers. Middle, the last one on the left and then the first one on the right. Then I add the 2, I divide them by 2. And that is our median. But if your data set is an odd one, remember this one I was talking about an even, they are equal. Now, if it's an odd one, I like this one because now I know you're going to laugh. What I do, I start with my pinky finger. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, ending on my thumb. Now, when I do this, when I do the middle one, I will bend this one, bend like this. Bend this, my pinky finger, bend my thumb, and then bend my ring, and then bend my index, and then I am left with the middle finger. So this middle finger now, we say it is my median because now it is in the middle of the set. 2 on the left and then 2 on the right. This one, it will be my middle finger. Then it will be my median. And then coming to the mode. Boys and girls, like I said, this part you did it. I think even last week, my colleague, Mem Nikiwe, touched on it, on summarizing the data. She also spoke about the measure of central tendency. Can you see how important it is? She touched on it. I'm also doing it. It means we want you to master it so that you get to collect the marks during the exam. Even now in term 1, it will be there in your paper because it's a term 1 topic. So you need to nail it. And then coming to the mode, the last part or the last one on the measure of central tendency, the mode. we say the mode, the value or an item that appears the most in a list. When you talk about a mode, if an item appears more than any other item on the list, we say that item or that value, it is our mode or our modal. Sometimes they call it a modal, sometimes they say it is a mode. And then it must come from part of the list. It must not be just a number. So you go through the list that you have, and then you look on a number that is repeating itself more than any other number. If there are two numbers repeating itself, say maybe you've got 3 threes and then 3 fives, that means the 3 and the 5, they become your modal or the mode, because they appear more than any other number. But if there are more than 3, that means there is no modal. I can't say I've got 2, I've got 3s, I've got 5s, I've got 7s, because all of them, they appear 3 times. No, that means I no longer have a mode or a modal. And remember, in the exam, if an examiner asks you what is the modal of the data set, and when you look at it, there is no number that is repeating itself. If you say 0, the number 0, if you write a 0 like this, that means you are wrong, because we say a 0, it's a number. Even if you say 0, maybe you write the word 0, it's wrong, because we want you to say no modal, or you rather say none. No modal or none. Stop writing 0 to say the modal is 0. We are going to give you wrong, because 0 to us, it is a number. Don't forget that, boys and girls. Now let's have a look at the spread, measure of spread. With the measure of spread, we said the measure of spread, we identify the smallest measure of spread, we identify the smallest and the largest value in the list of values. And then we subtract the smallest value from the largest value. So when we do this one, we are talking about a range. Remember, we said with a range, it is a maximum value subtract the minimum value. And we said it is affected by what? By the outliers. So now the range, the maximum value, subtract the minimum value. What is our maximum value? Our maximum value, it will be the largest value, and then our minimum value will be the smallest value. So that one is the range, is straightforward, so simple. But you'll see when we do the calculations what you need to be aware of. And then when it comes to the quartiles, we say we divide the data set into 4 quarters. Remember I said how many quarters we have in a year? We have 4 quarters, because we close schools 4 times a year. We will close around March, and then we'll go back for April, May, June. By the end of June, we close again. Or in the middle of June, we close again, and then reopen when? In July. So we'll go again for July, August, September. End of September, we close again. And then we go back when? In October. Then it will be October, November, December, we close again. So it means we close 4 times. There are 4 quarters. So now, when we divide that data set into quarters, 4 quarters, quarter 1 is also known as a lower quartile or 25th percentile. And then quartile 2, also known as a median or 50th percentile, because it's a median. A median is a middle value. So now it's 50 up, 50 down. So meaning in June, how many months have we attended from the beginning of the year? We have attended 6 months. It will be January, February, March, April, May, and then June. June we close. We reopen when? In July. So it means the first 6 months we have covered it, then we go for a recess, and then we come back again. Now we count how many quarters now, how many months are remaining. It's June, it will be July, August, September, October, November, and December. So it means median, it is the 50th percentile or the middle one. And then we also have what we call quartile 3, also known as the upper quartile or the 75th percentile. Boys and girls, don't stress about this. You'll see when we do the box and whisker, when we do the quartiles, they're so interesting because the answers are there. All that you need to do, you interpret the information. Now, from these quartiles, we have what you call now what? The IQR, interquartile range. What is the interquartile range? The difference between quartile 3 and quartile 1. And then what is the formula for the interquartile range? It is Q3 minus Q1. Look at this one. The range we said it is the maximum value minus the minimum value. Let me quickly write an example here so that you can see. Let's say we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then now they say calculate the range, determine the range. And then I'll say my range. What is my maximum number here? It will be 7. That is my maximum number. And then my minimum number, which is the smallest one, is 1. And then my answer is 6. But when it comes to the quartiles, you haven't done them before. You'll see. Remember I said I'll divide the data set. Then I'll say, okay, how many values do I have in my data set? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values. And then now if I'm to share, I'll say, okay, fine, I have one this side on the left, one on the right. One on the left, one on the right. One on the left, one on the right. What is my middle number? My middle number, which is my median now. It will be 4. 4 will be my Q2. Now I'm looking for my Q1. Remember now I've divided my data set into 2 equal parts. As you can see now, there are 3 values on the left, 3 values on the right. I must find, remember what I said? My hands, and then now I'm dividing it into 2 equal parts now. Because I've got 4, then I have to find the middle on the lower side of the data set. So my middle on the lower side, it will be 1 this side, 1 that side, and then I am left with 2. This one, it becomes my Q1. And then this side of the data set, I have 5, I have 7. What is the middle value now? It is my 6. That 6, I say it is a Q3. Then if I am to do the interquartile now, I am calculating the range on the quarters, on the middle numbers, not in the middle numbers, on the inner information of the data set. I am not focusing on the minimum and the maximum, but I'm just focusing on the data set inside. Now I will go like this. I'll say my Q3, we said it's 6 minus, here's my Q3, and then 6 minus the 2. And then my interquartile range will be 4. So boys and girls, don't worry, we are still going to do this in detail. I was just showing you the difference between the range and the interquartile range. How do we determine it? But you'll see it's such an interesting topic that you'll enjoy. Now, boys and girls, looking at this, remember I did make mention of what? Of the box and whisker plots. With the box and whisker plots, you are doing this for the first time. You have never done it before. It was not there in grade 8, 9, 10, 11. It is for the first time you are seeing it where in grade 12. Now, remember what I've done that side. I have done the data set. Let me just quickly explain this so that you understand it. The box and whisker plot. We say a graph that summarizes numerical data based on quartiles. These are our quartiles or our quarters. We have quartile 1, we have quarter 2, and then we have quarter 3, we have quarter 4. We said we divide the data into 4 quarters. And then only expect to interpret as a grade 12 learner. The examiner does not expect you to draw this box and whisker. You are only expected to do what? To interpret it, not to draw it. And then you should be able again to locate the minimum the maximum, the median. So you should be able to locate the minimum, the maximum, the median, and the quartile values. So that information, we call it a 5-point summary. You know, with the 5-point summary of the box and whisker, it's so nice. You are going to enjoy it. You are going to enjoy it, definitely. I'm telling you, because the answers are already there. You don't need to scratch your head. You don't need to plot it again. They are already given. And then you say box and whisker plots. Box and whisker plots as graphical representation of quartiles. This is what you are expected to know. That box and whisker plots, how is this represented in a graphical way? This is the graph that this is the drawing that you are talking about, or how we represent the box and whisker graphically. Now have a look at this. Why are we saying it's a box? Here is our box in the middle, and then it has the whiskers. You know, the cat, it will be the face of the cat here, and then it has what? The whiskers on the left and on the right. And you know, those people, the old people, they like to keep their beards, and then they will roll them from here, the mustache. They will roll it like this, and then we say these are the whiskers, because now they are like the cat one. In the middle is the mouth, and then they've rolled on the right hand side, also rolled on the left hand side. So now we say it's a box and whisker. So now let's quickly have a look at this box and whisker, the 5-point summary. We have our minima. This part where the whisker, or where the box starts, or where the drawing of the box and whisker starts, it is our minimum. And then here we have divided the quarter in the first quarter now, and each it is 25%. 25%. When you do the percentiles, you'll see it's 25%, because we said we are dividing it into 4 equal parts. So each part is 25, 25, 25. So if I am to say from the minimum to the lower quartile, it is 25%. From the lower quartile to the median, it's another 25. So it means my median Q2, it is the middle one. Remember what we said? The median is the middle number. And then now we have from 25 to upper quartile, it is, from the median, which is 50%, to the upper quartile, it's another 25. So it means when we do the percentiles, you will see that when we add this box and whiskers, they will give us what? A complete 100%. So our upper quartile is this one. Remember when I was doing that example on the previous page, I said we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 values in our data set. And then from these 7 values in our data set, we divide it into 2 equal parts. Remember, I counted 1 this side, and then 1. Like this, quickly. And then my middle one is 4. So meaning my Q2, this will be my Q2, my median. And now I want to see where's my quartile one. Now my quartile one, it will be the lower part of the box and whisker, which is quartile 1. And then I divide my data set into 2 equal parts again. Then it will be this one and this one. Then there we go. This is my middle one. It becomes my Q1, the lower quartile. And then I come this side, I have 5, 6, 7. And then as you can see, 6 is the middle number between 5 and 7. And then this one, it becomes my Q3. And then now looking at this one, because it's the one that starts my data value, it is my minimum. And then 7 becomes my maximum. Can you see how can we display the box and whisker on the given data set? But remember what I said to you, the box and whisker, you are not expected to draw it. You are only expected to interpret the box and whisker and read the information from it, get the answers, not to draw it. But if they ask you to calculate to calculate or determine the interquartile range, this is what you do. You'll be given the data set and then you are able to determine the interquartile range. Same applies with this one, our box and whisker. If they ask you what is determine the interquartile range, and then you say, okay, fine, interquartile range, my IQR, interquartile range, it will be my Q3 minus my Q1, and then my range, let me write here, then my range will be what? Maximum on the data set. Here's my range. It will be maximum minus my minimum. So the range, meaning I'm only focusing on the smallest number and the biggest number of the box and whisker. So where the box and whisker starts and where it ends. But when it comes to the interquartile range, we are focusing on the middle of the box when we talk about the box and whisker. So boys and girls, box and whisker with the interquartile range, they go hand in hand. Once you understand how to determine the box, how to calculate or how to determine the IQR interquartile range, it will be easier even when you go to your box and whisker. You will be able to identify the values. Now let's do this quick quiz. It's so interesting. Look at the table. Remember, now in grade 12, you won't be given one set of data values. You will be given different sets. We compare different sets of data values. Now looking at this one, it says in the table alongside are soccer teams standing in the DStv Premier Soccer League season 2023-2024. Use the table alongside to answer the questions below. Number 1, identify the team that has the highest number of points. Now looking at this one, because it is based on the points, which team has the highest points? Now you go to your data. At the top here, if we look, we have the MP match played, we have the win, the draw, the lose, the goal for, goal against, goal difference, and points. Now the question is based where? It is based on the points. Now we go to the points. It says identify the team that has the highest points. So looking at this one, the highest point from the data set given is what? It is 39. So which team is that one? It is Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns. It is the team that has got the highest point. And where did I get the answer? Straight from the point, from the given data set, I went straight to the points because the question was based on the points. This is what you need to do, boys and girls, in the exam. Don't just answer without reading the question thoroughly and understanding it. Look at the question. Where is it based? Is it based on the goal against or goal average or goal difference, or on the match played, or win or draw or lose? So you don't just select the number. You select the answer based on the question. They wanted the highest team that has got the team that has got the highest point, which is Mamelodi Sundowns. And they said identify the team. They did not say write down the highest points, but they said identify the team that has the highest points. So the team, it is our keyword, and then we said the team is what? Mamelodi Sundowns. And then 1.2, determine the mode of the points. Now we are looking at the mode of the points. Looking at these points, we have 39, 30, 30. So it means there's 139, there are 2 30s. Because they said on the points, we are only focusing on the points. And then we have 27, 26, we have 25, 24, 24. There are 2 24s. It's 1, 2. and then we have 23, we have 22, 21, and then we have 19, 19, 19, and then we have 13 and 7. Boys and girls, looking at this information on the point side, we said the mode is the number that appears more than any other number, or the value that appears the most. Now, 30, there are only two 30s. We only have two 30s. We only have two 24s. But 19, how many 19s do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. So meaning our mode will be 19 because it appears 3 times. All these other numbers, they appear twice or they only appear once. So that means mode is 19. That appears more than any other number. Now, 1.3. 1.3 says, arrange the goal difference in ascending order. Where are they asking us now? We have to go to GD, the goal difference. That's where we need to focus now for the goal difference. Here is our goal difference. And then they say we must do what? Arrange the data set in what? In an ascending order. And remember what I said with an ascending order? We start with the smallest value going up to the the biggest value or the highest value. Now looking at this one, boys and girls, we have the negative numbers. We have the negative numbers. We also have the positive numbers. And remember one thing, on our number line, let me just try to draw it here so that I can quickly remind you with our number line. Let me draw it here. On our number line, in the middle we have 0, and then on the right hand side they are positive. It will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we go on. It continues. So as you see, from 0 going to the right, the numbers are increasing. They are getting bigger. And then from 0 going to the left now, we'll have a -1, -2, -3. You see, the further we go away from 0, the further they become smaller. -4, -5. So now instead of them going up or getting bigger, they become smaller and smaller. So the bigger the negative number, the smaller it is. I think you have seen from grade 9 and 10, when we are doing the temperature, the negative numbers, we are doing it on the basic skills. The temperature, if the temperature is negative, we say that today's temperature, it is below the freezing point. Even at home, when you look at your fridge, the fridge, for it to be frozen, like maybe you go to ShopRite, when you look at the temperature of their fridge, it's around about 30 to 40 degrees Celsius, and -30, -40 degrees Celsius. At home, our fridges, usually they are around -26, -28. It depends on the type of fridge that we have. We set up our fridge to say now we want it to be this frozen, and then we increase the temperature of the deep freezer. It becomes bigger, and then the more it becomes smaller this side. When we say it is -20, so it means it will be frozen, it will be icy, you'll get an ice inside. But once you say let it be 1, so if it's 1, yes, for our body temperature, it's cold, it's freezing. When the temperature is 1, or when they say the temperature, the maximum temperature is at 0, then we say, hey, it's freezing today. And then when we say it's 1, 10, it starts to get warmer and warmer. And then if they say the temperature is -2, it's below 0, that means it's frozen. It's very cold on that particular day. Now they want us to arrange the data set. Now looking at the data set, -20, is this the smallest one? We have -20. We are arranging the data set. What is the next big number there? It will be -9. From negative 9, we have negative 8. From negative 8, we have negative 6. From negative 6, we have negative 4. And then from negative 4, we have another negative 4. Here's our other negative 4. And then what else do we have? We have negative 1. And then from negative 1, you see, as soon as I spot a number, I circle it and then I write it down so that I know I'm done with that number. And then we have 0. Remember, 0 is our middle value or our middle number between the negative and the positive. So we have 0. And then after 0, we have 1. Now it's getting bigger now. We have 1. And then from 1, let's see the next number, it will be 3. We have 3. And then after 3, we have how many 4s? It's 1, 2. We have 4. We have 4. The second 4. And then we go up now. We see which next number do we have. We have 5. And then we have another 5. We have 5. We have 5. And then followed by what? By 7. We have 5, 5, and then followed by 7. And then the biggest one, the last one being 23. So can you see I've circled all the numbers. We said the last one is 23. I've circled all the numbers. That means I've arranged my data set in an ascending order from the smallest one to the biggest one. Boys and girls, don't make a mistake to say just because it says 20, you think that 20 is the biggest number. No, 20 is not biggest number. It's not even closer to 23 because it is a negative 20. It's not a positive one. It's a negative one. So meaning it goes far away from what? From 0. So our 20 is here. Negative 20 is here. Can you see how far away it is from 0? So it means it becomes the smallest number. Why 1 is bigger than 20? Look at negative 1. Negative 1 is just closer to 0. Meaning from negative 1 going up, it's quicker because it's closer to 0, and then immediately after 0 it goes up to what? To the positive 1. Now we start with 1, 2, 3. The temperature is increasing. Now even same applies here. Negative 1 will be bigger than negative 20. Negative 20 is the smallest value. So I hope now you understand how do we arrange the negative numbers. Let's continue with our quick quiz. I hope you are working with me on this one, boys and girls. It says determine the mean of matches played by all DStv Premiership League teams. Determine the mean of matches played by all matches played. So meaning our keyword here is MP. Where are we focusing now? We are focusing on the MP. And you know what is nice? When we determine the mean, we don't need to arrange our data set because we just want the sum. It is the sum of the values divided by the number of the values. Let's quickly write it down. And then now we say the mean is equals to the sum now. What is the values there? It's 15. We start with Mamelodi Sundowns. It's 15, 17, 17. Can you see I am adding the values? 17, 17, and then next one is 16, and then next one is 17, another 17. So as you can see, I've covered the 15, I've covered the two 17s, 1, 2, and then we have 16 is there, we have 17 is there, we have another 17 is there. Now we are at 16 plus 16 plus 17. Because I don't have space, I will add another 17 here, plus 17 plus 16 plus 17 plus 17 plus the 16 plus the 17, and then the last one being plus 17. And then we divide, because we said the mean, it is the sum of the values divided by the number of the values in the data set, the total number. How many are they now? They are 16. Let's quickly check. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. There are 16 values. Then I write my value there, the number 16. And then I continue now, because they said I must determine the mean. My friend is here to assist me. The calculator, let's quickly do it. It will be 15 plus 17 plus, so I will try to do this. It will be 15 plus 17 plus another 17. We must add all the values. 16 plus 17. We mustn't skip even a single one. Plus 17 plus 16 plus another 17 plus another 17 plus another 17, and then 16 plus 16 plus 17 plus 17 plus 16 plus 17 plus 17, the last one. So I got my answer to be 266. I divide it by what? By the total. It is the sum divided by the total number, which is 16. Then my answer will be what? 16.625. And because the examiner did not state that I must round it off to how many decimal place, so I can leave it like that. But if they say round it off to 1 decimal place, then it will be 16.6 if I round it off to 1 decimal place. But because it's not stated, they just said determine the mean. Then I just determine the mean. I've added all the values divided by the total number or by the number of values, and then I got my answer to be 16.625. Now let's do the last one, second last one. Determine the median of the GA in the league. Now I go to the GA. Now, what must I determine now? The median. How am I going to determine the median? I must first arrange my data set. And how do I arrange my data set? It's either I arrange it in a descending order or in an ascending order. So now here we are referring to the GA. Now let me quickly, because I want the median now, let me quickly arrange it. It will be the smallest one here. It's 4. It's 4 followed by 12. It's 4, it's 12. So I've covered these two. And then let's see if there's any other smaller number. Yes, we have another 12 here. We have another 12. So remember this. Let me just do this so that we can separate. We see if we are still in the right track. We have another 12 there. So how many 12s? You have 1, 2, 3 12s. 1, 2, 3. And then followed by the next number. Let's see the other number besides the 12. So it will be the 14. We have 14. How many 14s do we have? It's only 1 14. So we are done with the 14. And then we go to the 15. 15, how many are there? It is 1, 2, 3 15s. It's 1, 2, 3 15s. And then we are done with the 15. We must go to the next number, which is 16. Now we say 16. We go on to the next number, 17. How many 16s? Only 1 16. And then we only have 1 17. I don't see any other 17. Then I write 17. And then from the 17, I have 18. From 18, did I skip any number there? No. 17, 18. And then from 18, we have 20. we have 20, and then from 20, what else do we have? We have 22. Here's our 22. We have 23. Then from 23, what do we have? The next number there, it will be 24. Then from 24, the last number that we did not circle is 34. So now, looking at this, they say we must determine the median. How many values do we have in our data set? It's 16. Let's quickly check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 values in our data set. And remember now, if we want the median, we have to divide the data set into 2 equal parts because our median is the middle value. So now I'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then from this side, I will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So meaning my 2 middle values, because I'm looking for a median, it will be, the median will be 15 plus 16. And then we divide it by 2, so that we have 2 equal pieces or parts. It will be of the data set. 15 plus 16, it gives us what? 31 over 2. Can you see I'm doing it step by step because we do allocate a number, a mark for writing all the calculations, showing all your calculations. Then 31, we divide it by 2. Our answer will be 15,5. This will be our median, 15,5. So boys and girls, remember when I was doing the demonstration of the median values, I said if the data set is even, we divide it into 2 equal parts, and then the other part we say from the smallest one to the middle, and then the first one on the other side up until the last one on the left, on the right hand side. Now it says, let's quickly do this one. Now the measure of spread, remember the first one, we did the mean, the mode, the median. Now we are doing the measure of spread with the same data set. Now when we do the measure of spread, now we are calculating, says, question says, we must calculate what now? The range of the gold form. Now we come to GF. There's our GF. Now if we want the range, we set the range. The range will be max minus the minimum. Now what is our maximum value here? Now looking at this, you quickly have to scan. What is your maximum value? So my maximum value here, when I look, it's 27. It's 27. Am I correct? Let's check. We have 27, 19, 23, 20, 20, 16, 17, 13, 20, 15, 16, 13, 12, 14, 14, 14. So it means the maximum value there, it is what? It is 27. What is our minimum value there? Our minimum value, we said we have 27, 19, 23, 20, 20, 16, 17, 13, 20, 15, 16, 13, 12. So meaning our minimum value is what? Is 12. And then we quickly say maximum value is 27 minus minimum value 12, and then our range is what? Is 15. That is our range. So meaning the difference between the highest and the smallest value in the data set. Now let's quickly do the lower quartile. It says calculate the lower quartile of the GF. Now the lower quartile of the GF, boys and girls, always for us to get the lower quartile and the upper quartile, we have to arrange our data set again in what? In an ascending order or a descending order. But the examiner will state to say arrange your data set in an ascending order or descending order. Don't forget. Now when we are to do this quickly, the GF, we set our smallest value is what? 12. I'm quickly arranging. It's 12 followed by what? By 13. How many 13s? I can spot 2 13s. So that means it will be 13, 13. Sorry, 13, 13. Because there are 2. There's no any other 13. And then followed by 14. How many 14s do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. And then we have 14, 14, 14. 3 14s. And then is there any other 14 at the top? No. It's followed by 15. We have 15 on the data set. 15, and then 15 we have 2 16. Can you see it's 1, 2? So we have 16, 16. And then the next one will be 17. Let's be quick. At 17, we're done with 17. We have 19. And then from 19, what are we left with now? From 19, we have 20. How many? We have 1, 2, 3. We have 20, 20, 20. And then now let's see, the next number will be what? 23. After 20 we have 23, and then after 23 we have 27. Now question says calculate the lower quartile of the GF. So I have arranged the data set of the GF. Now I'm to calculate what the lower quartile. The lower quartile, step number 1, we divide the data set into 2 equal parts. So we said it will be 1, 1. You see what I'm doing to make sure that I get to the middle. This is what I'm doing. And then now I've got 16 and 16. So 16 and 16, these are my 2 middle values. So now if there are 2 middle values now, that means my data set divides here. So from this side, going to the left, it will be 8 values. And then from this 16 going to the right up until here, in the bigger number, going towards the bigger number, it will be also 8 values. Let's quickly verify. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 values. Now with these 8 values, they said I must determine what? The lower quartile. The lower quartile, so I've got 8 values. That means it will be 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So my 2 middle values, this one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So now my Q1, my lower quartile, it will be 14 plus 14 because I've got 2 middle values on my data set. So 14 plus 14, it will be 28. 14 plus 14, even though I know it, but I have to verify, make sure that I've got the correct answer. Then I divide it by 2, so meaning my lowest quartile or my lower quartile, it will be 14. Sorry, not 12, but let me do this. Our answer is 14 because 28 divided by 2 is 14. Let me just quickly rewrite it neatly. Then meaning my Q1, my lower quartile is 14. I hope you got it correct, boys and girls. You see, it's so easy. Now I must get the upper quartile. Now I'm not going to rearrange the data set. For this one, I think I'll have to go back a bit. Now you see. Okay, fine. Let me do this because now I want to, yes. Now I want to determine what now? The upper quartile. I am doing the next one on this slide so that you see. Now the upper quartile, we said we have divided our data set into 2 equal parts. So I've got now, I'm now doing the upper one. The upper one, there are also 8 values. So it will be 1, 1, 1 1 1 1. So meaning my two middle values, my Q3, which is my upper one. Now my upper one, it will be Q3, that will be 20. The two middle values, 20 plus 20, I divide it by 2. And then I'll get 40 divided by 2. That will give me 20. Let me quickly go and do it on the slide, because they wanted the upper quartile. Now after arranging the data set on the previous slide, then we got our Q3, the upper quartile, to be 20 plus 20. We divide it by 2. Always, because you have already arranged the data set, I just took the information from the arranged data set in an ascending order. Then I have 40, I divide it by 2, then my answer will be 20. That is my upper quartile. Now let me go to this one. Now it says determine the interquartile range. Now the interquartile range, IQR. Remember our Q3. Our Q3 minus Q1, that is the interquartile range. So the Q3, we said it was what? 20. We have calculated the Q3 on the previous slide. And then on the slide before, we have calculated what? Our lower quartile, which was 14. And then we say quickly 20 minus 14. And then the answer is 6. So boys and girls, can you see the information is there? You don't need to scratch your head. You don't need to think, because already the information is given. Now let's do the exam type questions. We have done the quick quiz, the practicing one. Now let's quickly go into the exam type questions now. It says table 3 below shows an extract from provincial mid-year population estimates by the age and gender for 2021 for selected provinces. Table 3, it's a mid-year population estimates 2021 of certain provinces by gender and age. Now use table 3 alongside to answer the questions that follow. Calculate the total number of females in the 10 to 19 years old age group in the 3 provinces. Now, they want us to calculate the total number of females between the age 10 to 19 in the 3 provinces. So that means we are going to focus on these numbers, these ones, because we are only focusing on the females. So now if they say calculate the sum, the total number of females, so now we say the total number females, and then now we add. We say 379,429 plus 569,943 plus 589,468 plus 307,009 plus 542,072 plus 512,711. And then now we want the total now. Let's quickly go to our calculator. Now when we add, we say 379,429 plus 569,934 plus 589,468 plus 307,009 plus 542,072 plus 512,711. So we got our answer to be what? To be 2,900,623. That is the sum, because they said calculate the total number of females on these age groups. So we are focusing on the age group 10 to 19. So we have combined these two. So can you see, boys and girls, the answers are there. You just identify, you read the table, and then you get the answer. Now it says the next one, determine as a percentage the probability of randomly selecting a female in the 25 to 29. Now we go to 25 to 29, and then we are focusing on what? On the female. Now on the female, where? Eastern Cape. So meaning we have to get our answer from the Eastern Cape. Now, out of all the women in Eastern Cape, so meaning our focus will be on the Eastern Cape only. We are not going to touch on Gauteng or KZN. Now they want us to determine the probability. And remember, now they say probability of selecting an age group 25 to 29 over the total number. So we first have to determine the total number of women in the Eastern Cape. Total number of women will be 336,296. I'm going to add all these figures. Plus 360,513 plus 379,429 plus 307,009 plus 226,351 plus 232,066 plus 259,840 plus 239,270. Now let's quickly add. It's 336,296 plus 360,513 plus 379,429. I'm adding 307. I hope you are doing the same. 009 plus 226, 351. And then we go to the next one to be 323. Oh, you see the mistake that we make without adding. We say plus the 232,066 plus 259,840 plus 239,270. Then I got my answer to be 2 million. Now let me, oh, I made a mistake. I don't know what did I press. I have to start again. 336. You see, always when you punch, you'll make a mistake unaware. Make sure that you go through these numbers correctly. So 336,296 plus 360,513 plus 379,429 plus 307,009 plus 226,351 plus 232,066 plus 259,840 plus 239,270. Now my answer is what? This is my answer now. I've made, let me go to the next slide. Okay, let me do this. The previous slide, determine the median number. No, we are doing this one. The total number of women now. We said our answer is 234,0774. Now, this is the total number of women. And then they say, determine the probability as a percentage of randomly selecting the age. Now we go to the age 25 to 29. How many women are there? So now we say P, probability of selecting an age, a female on the age group 25 to 29 as a percentage. It will be this number 232,066. We divide it by the total number of women in the Eastern Cape, which is 2340774. And then because they said as a percentage, we multiply it by 100, and then it will give us, we take that number, now we say 232,066, we divide it by 2340774, and then we multiply by 100 because it's a percentage. We multiply it by 100%, and then our answer will be 9.91%, because they said you must determine the probability as a percentage. Now let's move on. It says, determine the median. We are still using the very same table. Determine the median number of males under 40 years of age in Gauteng. Now, looking at the males in Gauteng now we are focusing on the Gauteng. As we are focusing on Gauteng now, boys and girls, now you say, okay, fine, because now we want the median. We have to arrange our data set now. Which one is the smallest in the data set? Looking at this, we have 534, meaning it's the smallest. We quickly arrange our data set. It will be 534. 347, and then we are done with it, followed by what? By 577229. We are done, and then followed by the next number being 633. We are done, and then followed by the 677. 086, it's out, and then followed by 668. Boys and girls, can you see the mistake that I made here? Here I've got 667. I've already ticked 667, and then the 668 comes before, so it means this one, it will fall off. We have the 668 597, and then now that's when we have this one, that's when we can have the 667. Now that's when we can have the 677,086. So it's so easy to make mistakes when you do this, boys and girls. Now we have to look now the next number being 751503. And then from the 7501, then we have 827. Is there any number that I have missed out? Now we have 827, 240, and then we are out with that one. The last one being 874911. Now these are the males in Gauteng. Now we want the median. How many are they in the data set? It's one. Let's check. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This one, we forgot to do this. Now there are 8 in a data set. Let's quickly check. It will be 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 1, 1. These are my 2 values now. The middle values, because we are looking for the median. So our median, determine the median number of males under 40 years, because all these males, they are under 40. Now our median will be 668,597 plus 677,086, and then we divide it by 2. And then as we divide it by 2 now, it will be 668,597 plus 677,086. And then we divide the answer by 2. And then as we divide the answer by 2, boys and girls, please show all your working calculations. It will be 672,841,5. This will be our median value. So you just separate your data into 2 equal parts. You arrange the data set in an ascending order, and then you separate it into 2 equal parts, and then you get the median numbers. I've already explained it. You add the 2 and then you divide it by 2. Boys and girls, you get a mark for the concept of median. So by merely doing this, adding the 2 values for arranging the data set, you'll get a mark. And then for dividing the, identifying the 2 middle data values, and then you add them by 2, you get a mark for that. And then you also get a mark for the final answer. Now let's do this one. Identify the model age group for females in Gauteng. Now, the model age group is the number that appears the most. Now, when you look at this information, there's no number that is repeating itself. But which number is more than any other number, the biggest number in the data set? Now, when you look at this one, 653,243, 618,934, 569,943, 542,072. So now, when you go through this one, 854,935. Now here, I have done what? I have gone to the females. And then now it says the most appearing, the model age group. The model age group, because now this age group, it has more numbers, a bigger number. Which age group is that one? This one, this bigger number, it's on which age group? 30 to 34. The question wanted the age group, not the number. They did not want the model, but they wanted the age group, because 30 to 34, there are more women in that group. That is why it is the model one. Now let's do this one quickly, boys and girls. I want us to touch everything so that we understand, even if when we come across these questions in the exam, we are able to answer them. This is where you are to collect marks, boys and girls. Marks are just sitting. Now let's have a look at this one. It says social grants are in place to help improve standards of living in the society and are given to people who are vulnerable to poverty and in need of government support. The tables below indicate the total number of beneficiaries receiving social grants monthly in KZN, KwaZulu-Natal, from 2019 to 2021. Now here it is monthly social grants in KZN 2019-2020. This one is 2020-2021. Now looking at this one now, boys and girls, the range, the question says, the range of the data set is given to us to be 38,543. They have given us the range. And then they say, A represents the smallest number. Look at the position of A. Now, when you look at the position of A, it is the first number because the data set has been arranged in what? In an ascending order. So it means A is the smallest. Now they say A represents the smallest. They are leading you. They are telling you that A represents the smallest number. So now we have to determine, the question says, determine the value of A. Okay, fine. Let's go back to that one. I just wanted to check. Now, if we are to determine the value of A, we set the formula for range. We know the formula for range. Range is equals to what? Range is equals to the maximum number minus the minimum number. Now here in this instance, we are given the range. We have to write what is given. We are given the range to be 38,543. And then what is our maximum number now? Yes, when you look at this, 432, 446, and then now we quickly have to check, is there any number that is more than that? 2,554,952, and then is there any number that is bigger than that one? 254. Okay, 246, 2446, 2461. That means this one 2,461, 2,463. So now looking at this information, I can tell that this one is the biggest. 2 million. My maximum number is 2,463 and 42. We subtract A being our minimum number, because remember now they said we need to get what? The minimum number. Now if we check here, A is on the right hand side and then it's negative. Then when we transpose it, bring it to the left hand side, A, it becomes positive, and then our maximum number stays 2463042. And then now we have to take this range now, subtract it this side, bring it to the left to the right hand side, and then as we bring it, because it's positive on the left hand side, and then when we bring it over the equal sign, it becomes negative. Now as it becomes negative, it means we subtract it this side, it will be 38543. Now let's determine the value of A, our minimum number. We have 2,463,042. We subtract our range, which is 38,543, and then our answer becomes 2,424,499 for 2,424,499. That is our smallest number. Boys and girls, what is important with this one? They've given us the range, and then we substitute the range. They said we must look forward, we must determine the minimum value, which is A, because we already have what? The maximum value. So we just identify the maximum value, and then you subtract A. Then you, on the space of a range, you write the range that is given. Then you perform your calculations. Don't make a mistake by determining the range. The range is already given. Let's go to the next one. The next one says calculate the interquartile range for the number of social grants beneficiaries in KZN in 2020, between 2021 and 2020 and 2021. The interquartile range. Now looking at this, is this data set arranged, boys and girls? Now what we need to do, we need to check, is our data set arranged now? If our data set is not arranged, we have to arrange our data set first. And then looking at this one, we have to check, we are going to focus on these three numbers so that we can identify the smallest number in the data set. So meaning 2369, I'm arranging my data set because I need to have the interquartile range. 2369 364 minus, not minus, it is the first value. Now we go to the second value. Now it's 369 370. It will be 2370 647, and then we are done with these two. We take them out, and then we move on. From 370 we have 380. The next one being 2380 386, and then we move on to the next one. We are done with this one. From 380 we go to 390. Now we have 2390148, and then we are done. We move on to 395. It's 2395 343, and then now the next one, it will be 401 2401 660 We are done. We move on to the next one now. To be 401, from 401, we have 411, 2411, 462. We are done with the 411. Then from 401 to 411, then we go to 415. Then we have 2415, 073. It's out. 415. And then we have 416, 919, and then 416, 817. So it means it will be 2416, 817. We are done. We go to 2416, 919. We are done. And then now let's check the remaining one. We have 423 and 428. So it means it will be 24, 24, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. We are done. Then we go to the next one. The last one be 2, 4, 2, 8, 8, 7, 4. Now I've arranged my data set. All the values are out because it's on 2021. Now I need to identify my interquartile range. Now, how many are there in the data set? It's 3, 6, 9, 12. So meaning it will be 6 on the left and then 6 on the right. Let me quickly do it. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then if it's 6 here, that means my middle value is here. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So meaning I'm separating the two. These are my two middle values, this one and this one. Now this, it will be my Q2 there. Then I have to identify what my Q1. So since my data set now is divided into two equal parts, I have 1, 2, 3. This one will be my middle one, my Q1. Q1 will be these two values, because there are how many? It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So meaning I have to add 2380, 386 plus 2390148. I divide it by 2. And then as I add and then divide it by 2, let me quickly go to my calculator. 2380386 plus 2 plus 2390148. Then I get the answer. I divide it by 2. Then it will be 2385267. This is my Q1. Then let me quickly do my Q3. My Q3, then I quickly check. Okay, it will be 2416817 plus the 2416919. Then I divide it by 2. Then it's 2416817 plus 2416919. Then I divide it by 2. Then I get my answer to be 2416868. Now from this one, my IQR interquartile range, it will be Q3 minus Q1. So my Q3, it is 2416868 minus my Q1, 2385267 minus 23852 2385267. Then I get my answer to be 31601. That is my IQR. So boys and girls, this is also an exam type question, whereby you can also calculate or determine the interquartile range. So now when you look at this one, it says identify the mode. I am not going to do this one with you now because I've already done the other one for you. Now it says identify the mode. The mode we said is the number that appears more than any other number. And then by looking at this, I can tell that 25, it is my mode. 25%, it is my modal because it's the one that appears twice. The rest, they are appearing once. Now let's go to the next one. It says identify the Q1 and the Q3 of the overall global tax levels for 2021. Now looking at this one, this data set, it's already arranged, boys and girls. Now for the Q1 is the lowest one. So for us to be able to identify the quartile one, how many values are we have in our data set? Let me arrange it from here. It will be 12,5, 15, 15,8, and 19, 19,0, we have 21, 21,0. These are having percentages. 21, and then from 21 we have 24,0. From 24 we have 25,0, and then we have another 25,0, and then we have 28,4, and then we have 30. Now looking at this one, let's quickly identify our Q1. We said how many are they? There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have to divide our data set into 2 equal parts. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That means my middle value is here. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at 21, so my middle value is here. Then this side I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now for me to get my lower quartile, the Q1, it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So my middle value here, my Q1 will be what? 15,8. And then my Q3, because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So meaning it's 24, 25, 25. So my Q3 will be also what? 25. I think I've answered. It says identify Q1 and the Q3. I've already done that. Now let's go to the next one. It says the median is also known as, we said the median is also known as what? As the Q2, because it is the middle value. So our median number A, median is also known as Q2. And then as it represents what? The 50%, because now we are dividing the data set into 2. It means it is also represent 50% of the data value set. So when you look at this, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then from top it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So meaning 24 and 25 is the middle ones. So my median is known as Q2, and then it represents 50% of the data set. Now this one, which countries represent the lower quartile of the, which countries represents the lower quarter of the global corporation tax? So which countries? Remember now, our Q1 is here, the lower quartile, and then which countries represents the lower part? Now we have Canada, and what? Ireland. These are the 2 countries that are below the quarter. They are below the quartile one. Now state the meaning of selecting a country in quartile 3 with regards to probability. Now quartile 3, it's here. So quartile 3, boys and girls, because it's here, we say 75% of the countries, they are here. 75% of countries, they are less than 25. They also include the 25%. So 75% of these countries, they are at less than 25%, and then only 25. So meaning going down here, it is 75%, and then going up from the upper quartile, going up, it is what, 25%. So when you say state the meaning, the probability of selecting that, when you say 25% of that one, it's a 25% of the data set is above the upper quartile, or 75%, and then we say again 75%, only 25% is above, and then 75% is below. Boys and girls, let's move on to the next one. Okay, we are done with this one. Now, the quartiles. I just quickly want to touch on the quartiles so that we do the last activity, and they've given us a grace so that we finish off these slides. I want us to do the quartiles. Remember, I've already explained to you that the quartiles, we are dividing the data into 4 quarters. So each quarter, it will be 25%. The lower quartile, it will be the 25%, and then the median will be the 50th percent, and then the upper quartile will be the 75th percent. Remember, when we're talking about probability, said 75% of the data set of the countries, they are performing above, below 25%, and then 25% of the data set is also above, because now 25 to 100, it's from 75 to 100, it's only 25. So it means 25% is above, and then 75% is below. And then when you talk about the percentiles, data set is divided into 100 equal groups or parts. This is used to analyze the spread of the largest set of data. Since maybe they've gathered the data using a large data set, and then they can't use it one by one, so they just divide that data into 100 equal parts. So now we have the minimum, which is the 0 percentile, and then we have the lower quartile, which is 25, the median 50, the upper. If I may to draw maybe the box and whisker for you to explain this in simple terms. Then I'll say here it is 0%, and then here will be my 25th percent, and then here will be my 50th, and then here will be my 75th percent, and then here will be my 100. And then if we check, if I'm to do the both, here it will be my minimum value, and then here will be my Q1, and then this one will be my Q2, this one will be my Q3, and then this one will be my maximum. So if they say use 5-point summary, here's the 5-point summary on what? On the box and whisker that I have just drawn, meaning the percentile. And remember, I said because this data set is divided into 4 equal parts, so each part here is 25%. It's 25% here, 25%, 25%, and then also 25%. Now let's get to the questions. I have already explained this slide for you, boys and girls. This is what I've just done on the other slide. As you can see, the minimum value and the maximum, this is what we call a 5-point summary. So if they say 5-point summary, they want you to identify the minimum, the Q1, this will be my Q1, and then my Q2, my Q3, and then the maximum. So even this side, as you can see on the box and whiskers with percentiles, and box and whiskers with the quartiles. So remember, I said here it will be 25, 25, 25, 25. So meaning here it will be my 0, here will be my 25, and then here will be my 50%, 25, 50%, 75%, and my 100%. Now, it's so interesting when you deal with this, because information is there. You don't need to stress. You don't need to think. If they ask you from the median, 50% is performing below than the middle number, and then 50% is performing above the median, and then 25% is performing above the upper quartile, or 25% is performing below the lower quartile, or 50% is performing between the median of between the Q3 and the Q1. So now it's easier to interpret this 5-point summary, boys and girls. Now let's quickly do this one. It says the quick quiz number 2. Use the information in the table above to answer the questions that follow. Which student's daily transport allowance is on the 80th percentile? Now, looking at this, how many values do we have in the data set? It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now, here they did not say anything about the amount in rands, but they want to know which students' daily transport allowance is on the 80th percentile. How are we going to determine that? Because we have 12 values in the data set, and then we say, what is the 80% of 12? We say 12, because the total number of data set is 12. We multiply it by 80 over 100. We are determining the position. Remember what we said? We said the 80th percentile, when you talk about the percentile, it doesn't necessarily relate to the amount or to the data, but to the position. So now we look at the position. We say 12 multiplied by 80. 12 multiplied by 80, we divide it by 100. So our answer is 9,6. So meaning it is where it is at position 9. Position 9,6. Now let's have a look at position 9. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9, what? 9,6. So it means it is here. Meaning the transport allowance is between where? Between L and M. Can you see? 9.6 is here. It's between L and M. I hope you are able to answer that one, boys and girls. Now, what does it mean that for students' daily transport allowance to be 80th percentile? So meaning 80%. If it says 20% of the learners, they're getting above the 80th percentile, and then 20% they're getting, 80% they're getting below. So meaning it means it's here. When you talk about the percentile, you say 80th percentile, it says learners learners below the 80th percentile, they're getting the allowance that is exactly the same as that one, or 20% it is above the 80th percentile. Boys and girls, the last one. I want us to have a look at this box and whisker plots. This is an exam type question. How are they testing the box and whisker in the exam? It says write down the name of the most. Now, before I can read the question, let me read the story given. The scenario: Marius wants to buy a new laptop. He studied the available data for the 3 most popular brands of laptops sold in South Africa. The box and whisker plots show in percentages the spread of the market share of the Samsung, Apple, and Huawei laptop brands from the 4th quarter of 2019 to the 3rd quarter of 2020. Use the box and whisker plots alongside to answer the questions that follow. Write down the name of the most popular laptop brand. Boys and girls, looking at this, look at the minimum value and the maximum value of the Apple. Minimum is at 10.2, maximum value is at 19. When you go to Samsung, 14.6 is the minimum, and then 20.2 is the maximum. And then when we go to Huawei, look at it. It starts with the minimum value. Minimum value is 18.8, and then the maximum is 23.5. So meaning the percentages with the Huawei, it's higher. So meaning the most popular brand is what now? It's Huawei. The most popular brand is the Huawei. Boys and girls, I'm just wrapping up. We're doing this last two ones and then now we understand. It says, hence write down the 50th percentile of the brand identified in A. So in A, we have identified it to be Huawei. And then the 50th percentile, which is our Q2. Our Q2 is what? Is 21.5% in the share, because they said we must identify the median one. And then now number 3, it says calculate the interquartile range of the Samsung brand. So the interquartile range, it is Q3, the IQR will be Q3 minus Q1. Now looking at this one now, where is my Q3 for the Samsung? Because they are referring to Samsung. 18.75, it is my Q3, minus my Q1 being 15.7. Now we say 18.75 minus 15.7. My answer is now what? 3.05. Boys and girls, I think I have tried my level best. Let's close with this one and then we are done, because now I can't finish all the slides. Our time was up a long time ago, but I just wanted to show you how to answer the questions in the exam based on the box and whisker. So it says a data analyst claims that 75% of the data set of Apple was less than 16%. Explain whether or not his statement is valid. Now we go to the Apple laptop. Now let's have a look. We said here this will be our minimum, this will be our Q1, our Q2, our Q3, and then our max. When you look at this now, we said each is 25%. Don't forget, it's 25, 25, 25, 25%. Now it says a data analyst claims that 75% 75% of the data set of Apple was less than 16%. Now looking at this Q3, this is, it's 25, 25, 25. It will give us 75. So meaning 75th percentile of our 75th percentile is what? Is at Q3. And then this Q3, it is less than 16 because it is 15.95. So now we say Q3 is 15.95, which includes the 75th percentile, which includes the 75th percentile and is less than 16%. So his statement is valid. So boys and girls, can you see how do you answer this? Because now it says the data analyst says 75% of data set of Apple is less than 16%. And just by merely looking at this, the Q3, which is 75th percentile, it is at 15.95, and that it is less than 16%, including the 75th percentile. So that means his statement is valid. I wish I could have more time, but unfortunately we have to come to the end of our lesson. Thank you for watching. I hope you have learned a lot in terms of box and whiskers and you'll be able to answer. Remember your 5-point summary, the minimum value, which is the minimum value, our Q1 Q2, the median, Q3, the upper quartile, and then the last one being the maximum value. If they give you a box and whisker, remember you don't have to redraw the box and whisker in the exam, you just have to interpret it, but you know how to identify the Q1, the Q3, you know the median, that is the middle value, and then you also know that the minimum value and the maximum value, it's on the left and on the right of the box and whisker. So that is your 5-point summary. If they say calculate the range, you just use the minimum and the maximum values. If they say calculate the interquartile range, you use the Q3 and the Q1. Thank you for watching. Go back, go and do the revision at home. Go through this video again. You'll find it at the Phakama Research Development on your YouTube. You click there and then it will say live streaming starts soon. You do the fast forward and then the video will start playing. You can watch all the videos, the ones that have already passed, you can still watch them and then do revision. I hope this year we are going to get 100% with you. And I know you are able. You'll give us the 100%. All the best. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.